tell you that I come here with a great expectation and tremendous joy. This is my first visit to Norway. I grew up in South Africa, as you've heard, and I had a very close friend whose name was Geir Udko. And I learned to enjoy smorgasbord at his home and to understand some of the refinement of Norwegian cultures. And I've always wanted to see the country myself. But that's not why we came. My wife sends her apologies. She was instructed to go to bed and rest because she's developed a temperature as we were leaving to come, and it's probably one of these flu viruses that's going around, so she didn't want to infect the group. But we want to thank you for the invitation, the privilege to be with you. I have already been inspired. Thank you for being willing to speak English and to do it so beautifully. The presentations have been excellent. The ideas, the ideals, the challenges have been absolutely amazing, and I really want to thank you for your kindness, your hospitality, and for your desire to rekindle health ministry wherever you find yourselves. And what I want to encourage you is that the health ministry that we talk about, that we pray about, and I learned things this evening. Yes, we do need to talk with God. We need His direction. We need His instruction. And what I want us to really grasp tonight and this weekend is to think of health ministry not as a list of do's and don'ts, not how we can shoehorn people into a behavioristic approach to health, but rather that health can be a grace-filled conduit of the love of Jesus to a broken world. That is the essence of the gift that was given to this church in 1863. To give a message, and given at a time, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow, of the circumstances under which this message came to the church. It's also a great privilege for me to be on the same program as my very revered and admired friend, Dr. David Williams, and his lovely wife, Opal. I regard them not only as colleagues and friends, but as soulmates. And Dr. David Williams, you'll hear more about him, but he's a very distinguished academic. But he has two very great commendations. Number one, his wife. He's very blessed to have an amazing wife. And secondly, he's an associate in the Health Ministries Department of the General Conference Health Ministries. So thank you for being that, and thank you for having us both. And with that, I'd like to say a word of prayer. Gracious Father, we have come into your presence because we have no other place to go. We have tried and we have failed. And we ask that you will come into our midst and continue in our midst, that you will sharpen our thoughts and our intellect, that not only will we feel your presence, but that we will hear your voice. Thank you for this beautiful group of people who have come to sit at your feet. Let them look past the clay that stands in front of them and focus their eyes upon Jesus is my prayer. Amen. You cannot share something that you do not have. If you do not have something, you cannot give it away. And that's why this topic or this title means so much to me personally. You see, in order to share wholeness, you must enjoy it first yourself. And the Seventh-day Adventist Church has been given, and we just celebrated last year 150 years since the establishment of the Western Health Reform Institute. And I agree with our host who said, the best is yet to come. But you know, there were years from 1900 to 1920 to 1950 where we were establishing 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 hospitals every year. Sometimes the vision becomes blurred. But we were given a tremendous opportunity when we were given the understanding that health is a multi-dimensional existence of body, mind, spirit, social, and emotional. And I so appreciate what I see here. The holistic approach, the completeness, and that is what distinguishes Seventh-day Adventist Health Ministry from any other health ministry or health approach in the world, is the holistic approach, including the Christian spirituality. I apologize that the sound has not been working, but I want you to just for a moment just look at what is going to be there. There's a countdown. And a countdown of 40 seconds. And normally when this countdown plays, there's just a background of music which helps you to think. But look at the expressions on the face. Every 40 seconds, someone commits suicide. I was so touched by the work that you do, working with people who have mental health issues. Do you know that the leading cause of disability in the world in which we are living is mental health issues? The leading cause of disability. And I had the privilege of being with a group in the World Health Organization in 2014 when the task force on preventing suicide was released to the World Health Organization in Geneva, to a group from the world. And interestingly, what was so strongly brought out is prevention that needs to be done. It can be done and strengthened by encouraging protective factors. Now, when we deal with people who have mental health issues and physical health issues, certain things are very, very helpful. Strong personal relationships. So important to have. Key, a personal belief system and positive coping strategies. You know, sometimes people say, you know, When we present the health message, we shouldn't be too spiritual about it. We shouldn't be aiming at helping people to be spiritual. I put it to you that one of the things we do need to do is we need to reflect the grace and the love of Jesus Christ to everyone we meet. We don't have to make them all into Seventh-day Adventists. Sorry to the union president. That's not our job. That's the Holy Spirit's job. Our job is to be the conduit of grace-filled love to a broken world. And in preventing suicide, the global imperative stated that a belief system and positive coping strategies are what are needed. And here we are as a church, and we're a little concerned about being who we are. We don't have to be. We don't need to be in people's faces. We don't need to be insulting, but we need to share the good news and let people know who Jesus is. Key focus points that came out of a secular organization, the World Health Organization. The key focus points in helping people to prevent the issue of suicide, to help people who have mental health disorders, are 3. Hope. Do you have a hope? Do we have a hope? Yes. Compassion. That was mentioned this evening. Compassion. Absolutely so important. Without compassion, we don't reflect the grace and love of Jesus. Caring. Isn't it good when people care about you? When they know what your name is. It's such a privilege to be known by your name, that somebody cares who you are, that somebody cares when you are not there, somebody cares when you're not well. Hope, compassion, caring. These are the points that are brought out and highlighted in the World Health Organization imperative on preventing suicide. And the only faith-based group which was represented at the WHO at that meeting was the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Amen.
Thank you. I'm grateful for that. It was a huge privilege. As I looked around the room, there were representations from countries, kingdoms, organizations around the world. There were health ministers of various countries there. But only one church. And I thought to myself, what an opportunity we have because of the message that we have. The opportunity we have is sharing wholeness and serving all. Someone made the comment that I'm not going to be political tonight, not in any respect if I can. About this is a great place to live where what you're worried about is how many wolves you might shoot in a year. Where I'm living at the moment, we have many more worries than that. And there are going to be many more mental health issues as a result of that. Not only where I live, but where we all are. But we have to share wholeness to all. And you cannot be a holistic being if you're just focusing on the food we eat. We cannot be a holistic being if we focus purely on the exercise that we do. We cannot be a holistic being if we focus purely on our mental abilities. We have to be holistic beings, WHOLISTIC, holistic beings, with a spiritual dimension of the relationship with the Creator who made us in His image. Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease and sickness. When He saw the crowds, what did He have? He had compassion upon them, because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to the disciples, the harvest. Notice, he doesn't say, we're just going to start a hospital or a health institution. He said, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. There's a job to do. I love saying this to the pastors who are good friends of mine most of the time. But Jesus spent more time healing than he did preaching. He healed more than he baptized. And when he went through villages, the entire villages, there was no illness. Surely we have an example in that of the great physician of sharing wholeness and serving all. Jesus walked not by even the lepers, not even by blind Bartimaeus, where people said to him, don't make a noise, don't shout, don't talk. The master there, he said, that's who I want to see. Jesus didn't walk past people. The woman who had the issue of blood for 12 years touched the hem of his garment, and he stopped and then said, who touched me? And Peter, particularly Peter, who often spoke when his mind was in neutral and his mouth was running ahead. He said, Master, there's so many people, what are you thinking about? And Jesus said, virtue has gone out of me, because he paid attention. He shared wholeness with all. He overlooked no one, from the king to the pauper, the prince to the common man. Ellen White writes to us, I can see that the medical missionary work, and we talk about medical missionary work as comprehensive health ministry, purely so that we understand that medical missionary work is not only for health professionals. Health professionals need to play a leading role. We need to be there to work with pastors, teachers, and have our church members engaged. But it's to be a great entering wedge, not to divide the church over what kind of vegan you might be, or vegetarian, over lacto, pesco vegetarian. That's not what the kind of wedge it is. It's to be a way to introduce holistic living to all, whereby the diseased soul may be reached. That is the goal of medical missionary work. The union of Christ-like work for the body and Christ-like work for the soul is the true interpretation of the gospel. And I'd like to take you with me for a moment to that amazing story in Acts chapter 4, where Peter and John are walking along together to the gate beautiful, and to the temple. And there was a man who was paralyzed from birth, who locks gaze. He looks into the eyes of Peter and John. And he's waiting for some alms, for some money. And I don't know how many people you have in this country who beg on the streets, because you have a very socialized country. But I've seen beggars in Africa, in India, in the United States of America. And one of the things that we tend to do sometimes, and if you don't want to get involved with people, don't look into their eyes. And I can imagine Peter and John as they were walking to the temple. There was the man sitting there hoping for something that he could get from them. And Peter starts the speech. Interestingly, as I walked out of the room this evening, I tiptoed out not to disturb my wife and realized I didn't have my wallet with me. And I realized I don't need it. And if I met someone on the corridor who needed it, I could say, silver and gold have I none. They said that. Peter started the speech. He said, silver and gold have we none. And I can only imagine the despair in the heart of that man as he heard the speech. And then Peter went on and said, what we have, we give unto you. In the name of Jesus Christ, rise up and walk. What an amazing thing. And out of that experience came and comes to us that famous key to the existence of the Christian church. After Peter and John were thrown into prison, after they were abused, he makes the speech, "For there is no other name given whereby we can be saved than Jesus Christ." Relating salvation to healing, inextricably, unable to be pulled apart. What I'm sharing with you with conviction of every ounce of conviction in my body is that when we work for the need of people, it must be with no strings attached. But they must be able to see Jesus. When they are delivered from the shackles of their addiction, when they are freed from the issues related to anxiety and depression, and when their bipolar is under control, when their exercise programs are doing better, when those nerve endings begin to function better, they must be able to see Jesus. Sharing wholeness, serving all, none to be overlooked. The World Health Organization goes on to say prevention can be strengthened by encouraging protective factors such as strong personal relationships. Getting out to meet people, care about them. In our own church, with our own young people. Our church is hemorrhaging throughout the world. They graduate, I don't know what happens in Norway, but I can tell you what happens in the United States right now. They graduate high school and they graduate church. They finish with one and finish with the other at the same time. Perhaps because we don't know their names. Perhaps because we don't involve them. Perhaps because we don't have relationships with them. Relationships are core and key. And if we're going to have people understand the love of Jesus, we need to meet them, love them, and care for them. Sharing wholeness, serving all. The mission of Christ was to heal the sick, encourage the hopeless. That's what we heard about tonight. Thank you for what each of you are doing. You're doing exactly that. The needy, the suffering ones of humanity. God calls not only for your benevolence, but for your cheerful countenance. Have you seen angry vegetarians in your life?
Yes.
Never? You've never looked up. Angry vegetarians, is that what people are seeing? Or are they seeing your cheerful countenance, your smile, your engagement, your care for them, your love for them, my love for them? And God calls for your benevolence, your cheerful countenance, your hopeful words. Have you ever been in the company of somebody who just talks about the worst things out? The woe begone. The heartaches, the sadness. Isn't it nice to be with somebody who can be grateful for the good things? Some are sick and hope has departed. Bring back the sunlight to them. Sharing wholeness, serving all. There are souls who have lost their courage. Speak to them, pray with them. There are those who need the bread of life. Read to them from the Word of God. There is a soul sickness that no balm can reach, no medicine heal. I'll never forget when I was a young intern, having a patient who had cancer of the larynx from years of smoking. This was in 1975, when many of you were not born and some of you were quite a lot older than I was then. But he'd come into hospital with the recurrence of his cancer. And there was nothing that we could do further for him except to control his pain. And even high doses of morphine were not doing the trick. And one day, after coming into the hospital, feeling and believing it would be far better to find the bed empty from the suffering of this man that he had, and the nurse to perhaps say in the night he went peacefully to his rest. After the round, I felt impressed to go back to his bedside and drew the curtain around and took his hand and gazed into the steel blue eyes and said to him, "What's troubling you?" Now you may think, what kind of a doctor is this? The man is dying of cancer. What's troubling him? I want to remind you that Jesus said to the people who had been sick, sitting at the side of the pool of Bethesda and other places, "What can I do for you? What do you want me to do for you?" He asked the question. And I was in my formative years of medicine, and I said, "What is troubling you?" And those steel blue eyes brimmed full with tears as he shared with me the fact that things were not right between him and God, him and his family, and his past life, and all the things that were troubling him. And it was as if there was a river of emotion that came out. And we talked, we wept together, we prayed together, we went through the steps of salvation together. He had his next dose of medicine, and for the first time in 2-3 weeks, he rested. It was that night that he actually passed peacefully to his rest. What did he need? He needed to be prayed for. Did I talk to him about the Sabbath? Did I ask him, "Do you pay tithe?" Did I say, "You should be a vegetarian"? Did I suggest that we should discuss other issues? We talked about Jesus. This is the kind of medical missionary work that we've done. Bring sunshine into the soul. Let the Son of Righteousness into the room of the sick and suffering. Teach the inmates of the poor homes, and you were talking about that, how to cook. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd with a temporal and with spiritual food. So we need to not only take care of helping people to prepare wholesome food. And I looked at this beautiful magazine. I hadn't seen a health magazine of this quality anywhere else in the world. And I travel a lot. I travel more than is healthy. But we're not only here to show people the value of what good food looks like and the beautiful pictures of healthful living. We're to give them the spiritual food as well. And let God's Spirit work, sharing wholeness, serving all. John the Beloved, sitting on the island of Patmos, writes to his friend Gaius, and he says, "Dear friend, I pray that you enjoy good health, and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well." He had a lot of confidence in Gaius, didn't he? Is your soul getting along well tonight? Is my soul getting along well tonight? Whatever your job, whatever your situation may be, whatever your profession may be, whatever your qualification may be, How are things with your soul tonight? Would I be doing you a favor? Would you be doing me a favor if you said, well, I hope your body is as good as your soul is? Some of us might be in real trouble. But what is John talking about? He's talking about the holistic being of the body, the mind, the spirit, the social, the emotional. And that is what makes the Adventist health message different. Physical well-being may influence spirituality, emotional well-being, and vice versa. Jesus paid attention to the detailed needs of people when he healed, when he raised the little girl. One of my favorite stories, when Jesus raised that girl from the deathbed and said to her, Talita cum. What is the first thing he did after that? Give her something to eat. Did Jesus know young people? Did he care about detail? Do you care about detail? Do I care about it? Go to the ministry of healing. Our Lord Jesus, our Savior, came to this world as the unwearied servant of man's necessity. That's why Klaus and the team are working with refugees. That's why you are working with people who are going through all the mental issues that they're going through. That's why we have a health ministry, to be the unwearied servant. He came to give them health and peace and what? Perfection of character. He came to give us the whole deal. Not just the health insurance. He spent so much time healing the sick. He went throughout Galilee teaching and preaching and healing. There were entire towns where there was not one person sick. He was sharing wholeness. He was serving all. The healings he performed, he addressed all facets of the being. The demoniac, once he had the demons cast out, what do we find him doing? We find him clothed in his right mind. And where was he? Where was he? Sitting at the feet of Jesus. Body, mind, spirit. He addressed the forgiveness of sin, and in Dr. Williams you had one of the experts of forgiveness of health, edited a wonderful book on it, which I'm reading and enjoying and being blessed by. He affirmed faith and the very approaches that brought the need to him. He advised change in life values. He said, go and sin no more. Change your way. Think differently. Do differently. Give away what you have. And the young man turned away because he was very rich. He recognized holistic being. It was only in the latter part of the 20th century that the World Health Organization recognized the wholeness of the being and talked about health not just being the absence of disease, but of being body and mind. They stopped short of spirit because it's a political organization. That's why. For the Lord your God, as long as you live, become by keeping all his decrees and commands, so that you may enjoy long life. It's not only the commands related to eating. And I put it to you that one of the greatest blessings Seventh-day Adventists enjoy in having better health is the Sabbath. People who practice religious beliefs have less suicide, less cardiovascular disease, they have less depression, they have so much better health. We know that. You're going to hear more about it this weekend. 1863, Ellen White counseled this church on the importance of physical and spiritual wholeness. She advised against the use of the poisonous medications that were being used at the time. She spoke out about many things and encouraged many good things. She was holistic in her approach to healing. She supported the appropriate use of counseling. It's not a problem if people are counseled in a Christian counseling way, and the use of appropriate psychological care. The Seventh-day Adventist Church Health Ministries and Initiatives rest on 3 foundational principles. And if you want to know what drives sharing wholeness and serving all, if you want to know what the correct health ministry is, do you want to know what it is? Do you want to hear the secret? It doesn't have the name of a person on it. It's not the monopoly of a certain health ministry. But if we're going to practice Seventh-day Adventist health ministry, practices that are in line with the teachings of the Bible. Importantly, we must be biblical. As people who have been blessed with the light of the spirit of prophecy, the practices should be consonant or in keeping with the revelation given to this church. So when we share health ministry, when we share wholeness, when we reach all and serve all, let's be consistent in the message. And I'm so pleased to see young professionals in this group tonight. Because the third foundation is evidence-based, peer-reviewed health science. As each church becomes the center of hope and health and healing, our members become informed. Stigmatization is decreased. People don't look at people with mental health and say, oh, you know, you're depressed, I really think you need to eat more veggie meat. You're having difficulty with anxiety, maybe you just need to drink more carrot juice. Or you need to pray more. Yeah, we all need to pray more. But maybe we need to be the sun in the life of people and point them to the Son of righteousness, have caring relationships, bring to them hope, plus evidence-based therapies. Our opportunity. And for those of you who are thinking of those lovely beds with the duvets upstairs, it's coming in about 3 minutes. Much of our opportunity resides in the fact that the prejudice that prevents the truth of the third angel's message from reaching the hearts of people might be removed if more attention were given to health reform. When people become interested in the subject, the way is often prepared for the entrance of other truths. And here is a punchline I want us to take with us and to remember as we go forth into sharing wholeness and serving all. If they see that we are intelligent with regards to health, I'm saying intelligent, balanced, understanding, they will be more ready to believe that we are sound in Bible doctrines. What a responsibility. If I were to look at this magazine, which I did today, and I would think to myself, what kind of people produce this quality? Maybe I can learn from them. If our message is consistent in health, people will want to know about what makes us who we are. There's a video clip that unfortunately won't play with sound, so we're going to skip it. But this message changes lives. So I'm going to share with you the life of a young man born with cerebral palsy who at the age of 20 was diagnosed as bipolar, who spent 3 months every year at least within hospital, but found people who created a relationship with him in a psychiatric hospital, who helped him get into an exercise program. He rode a 93-kilometer bicycle rally, a cerebral palsy young man. Hasn't been admitted in the last 3 years, has become an advocate for what God can do through healthful living and through a focus on Jesus. Because people took the trouble to share wholeness and serve all. And that's the challenge to you and to me tonight. This is going to be a wonderful weekend. Not because you have people who've come a long way to speak to you. Despite that, it's going to be a wonderful weekend. Because you've come together to sit at the feet of Jesus. We've come together to reflect on our calling. We've come together to have our eyes focused upon Jesus. To look full in His wonderful face. That the things of this earth will grow strangely dim in the light of His glory and grace. Gracious Father, take each light, take each word, take each motive. Take us for we cannot give ourselves. Keep us for we cannot give ourselves for you. Save us and use us despite ourselves, so that we too can experience wholeness, share the wholeness, and in your name serve all. We pray this in Jesus' name for His sake. Amen.